Taking a live look over Jim Rockwell Stadium, the New Lexington Panthers here hosting the Logan Elm Braves in round 2 of the OHSAA playoffs. Dylan Kearns alongside Ted Snyder. Ted, great game posed to be here tonight, potential shootout territory.
Yeah, both these teams very evenly matched. I'm very excited for this one, Dylan. The Braves come in with an 8-3 mark, but as you mentioned, they can score some points, and so can this Panther squad. So something's going to have to give here tonight.
Logan Elm coming off a win against Philo last week in round 1. And Logan Elm, you know, they've scored over 34 points in 3 straight games. New Lexington, once again, they have a 1,000-yard rusher, a 1,000-yard receiver, and a quarterback with 31 passing touchdowns. How do you defend against that?
Yeah, the Panthers are very, very balanced. You mentioned Isaiah Stevens, their signal caller, 31 touchdowns to just 3 interceptions on the season, 2,500 passing yards coming into tonight. So the Braves are going to have an uphill climb playing this Panther team defensively.
So we caught up with a couple players and Coach Board ahead of tonight's game with New Lexington here. They describe what they need to have happen if they want to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been done in a while, win a playoff game, and I've been here for 3 years, well 4 years now, and we've never made it to week 12, so it's finally, it's nice to be able to be able to do it, so that's nice. Yeah, I mean, we've talked, we don't want it to be over. I mean, it's been a very fun season, and to keep winning, to keep having fun is the main goal, yeah. I think something different than last week is they're going to be a lot more physical, and that's something that we got to prepare for this week. I think we've done a good job so far. Is a match of physicality and bring it to them, I think, is the biggest thing.
It's awesome. It's really awesome for the kids, for the program, for the community. It's a lot for everybody to be excited about. You know, this was 3rd year in a row for us getting here, but it was time to not just be okay. It was good for the kids to get over that hump, and again, to take a step forward as a program and you know, continue to build to higher heights is what we're looking to get to. So it's really good. It's exciting to be back home again this week. They're very big up front. You know, they're built to run the football. They've got I think a 1,500-yard running back in the Bach kid. You know, he runs the ball well. He catches the ball well out of backfield. So he reminds me a lot of Carson. That you know, slightly different, just athletes, but similar numbers, similar abilities on the football field. They've got a senior quarterback that started for I believe 3 years. They spread you out. They run the ball well. They throw the ball well, and there's seniors everywhere. You know, so it's a team that's not going to panic if things don't go well right away. They're similar to us. This is their 3rd year in a row that they made the postseason, and last week was their first playoff win in that 3-year span. So I think 2 programs that are still trying to take those next steps in their program. You know, but they run the ball well. They throw the ball pretty well. They're physical. They're big. They're strong. So there's a lot of things that they do well, and there's a reason why they're here. They're well coached, they're disciplined, and they're not going to hurt themselves a lot.
So great words there from Coach Board. You know, he was right on the head. This is a game where both teams are trying to take that next step and see where they can get. So we're counting you down to kickoff here, 30 seconds. Both teams ready to get under action. New Lexington will receive the ball first.
Yeah, the Panthers are going to receive. We're going to get a look at the Panther offense first. See how Logan Elm chooses to defend the very diverse New Lexington Panthers. And you mentioned New Lexington 10-1 coming in. The last loss, the only loss on their record this year, coming all the way back on September the 20th here at the Jim Rockwell Stadium. 41-14 defeat against the Tri-Valley Scotties. Other than that, New Lexington Panthers have been clean.
So 2 returners deep, getting ready to kick things off. Big crowd here at New Lexington.
In week 12, this is one of my favorite things about the expanded playoffs, Dylan. When they went to 8 teams to 16 teams per region, now the top 4 seeds have an opportunity to not host just 1 game. But you can host 2 games in the postseason. What a treat for your home fans. They don't have to travel. So we know traveling expenses can be expensive. So settle in, Panther fans. We're about to get this one underway.
Tanner Toth back deep to return for the Panthers. And we are underway from Jim Rockwell Stadium. It's a pooch kick to the short side of the field, and that's going to bounce out of bounds. So it goes out of bounds, and right away it's New Lex with a great field position to start this ball game.
That should give New Lexington the ball at the 35-yard line. Great starting field position to start the first drive. We mentioned these 2 teams very, very similar in the way they operate offensively and their results, quite frankly. They have 2 common opponents, Fairfield Union and Philo. Both the Panthers and the Braves of Logan Elm defeated both those schools, so take that for what it's worth.
This is the first time we'll see the senior quarterback, Isaiah Stevens. Just a fantastic year. Had turnover problems a year ago, but Not the case this season. 31 touchdowns, 3 picks coming into the game, over 2,500 yards passing. And he's got his quarterback off to the left, and we got 4 wide receivers. And Stevens will look that way left, and he completes with his main target all year long. That is Bentley Hansen, and it will be a loss of 1 on the play.
Looked like Stevens wanted to run that football. 300 yards rushing on the year for Stevens in addition to the 2,500 yards passing. So Stevens is a running threat out of the backfield.
So Stevens motions Owen O'Brien, and he looks that way, completes another short pass. This completion goes for positive yards, but still not much on the play. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and long.
He gained about 4 yards on that play. A little screen pass to O'Brien. He's just 18 catches on the year, but don't sleep on number 11. He can make big plays for this Panther offense, but big 3rd down and 7 looming here for the Panthers.
We mentioned both teams great offenses, so a big stop early in this game would definitely swing some momentum. Stevens wanted a call and some motion on the D-line there, and he gets him again. Still no jump there. Play clock winding down. A little bit of motion. Another quick screen pass to the outside. This one caught by the receiver, Lane Ratliff, and he is tackled short of the sticks. And it will be the first decision of the game. And you got to think they'll go for it here.
I would be surprised if he did. This is 2.5, 3 yards, but they're lining up to go for it. Keep in mind, Stevens is the punter.
Can step back and punt. He is pretty far away for shotgun formation. Kind of in that hybrid position between 2. And he's going to go ahead and punt this one deep. No return man back. That's going to bounce at the 21 and roll with a New Lex favor. And it'll be checked up about the 13-yard line, mark at the 14. And that's where we'll see the Braves offense take over.
It's New Lexington's turn to come out on defense. And here, Dylan, you're going to get a look at one of my favorite defensive players in the MVL, number 28, Nicholas Finley. 6'1", 205-pound senior. 3rd on the team in tackles. He leads the Panthers in both sacks and tackles for loss. He is a game-changing player defensively. He can really cause havoc in the opponent's backfield. He's been doing it all season long. And on the back end, number 10, Bentley Hansen, the best cover corner in the MVL, in my opinion.
So 2 minutes off the clock. We still got 10 to play here, and that's where the Braves offense will take over on the 14. Long field to go. And this is immediately a give to the tailback, and he runs his way forward. He keeps fighting with a push from the O-line. He might get a 1st down there, and that's a big run from the tailback, Michael Bach.
And this team is extremely balanced as well. They can put up some points, as you mentioned, more than 34 in 3 consecutive games.
So Bach went over 100 yards last week against Philo in their Week 1 playoff victory. Gets a gain of 9 there. Rather, he got 10, so it was a 1st down. And this is the quarterback, and it is Aaron Walters with a little bit of a run there, and he picks up about 2 yards.
From everything I've gathered, this Logan Elm team loves to run the ball, and when they pass it, they love to get the ball out of the quarterback's hand really quick. They love to screen passes and to get the receivers the ball in their hands really quickly.
Sounds like what New Lex just did on their first drive. 3 straight screen passes and then a punt. So they went 3 and out to start the game. Gain of 2 on that one. So Walters takes the snap. He goes right back to Bach. Bach with a crease. He's past the 35. He's going to use that speed past the 50 for a huge gain. So Michael Bach already putting his fingerprints on this one. Yeah. 2 big runs, and now he's in enemy territory.
Huge hole to run through right there for Bach, as the Logan Elm offensive line is winning the battle here in the early going, really creating some space for that running back to run through.
Hurry up offense. Give goes to Bach, and there's that New Lex D-line pushing forward and getting a stop in the backfield.
Not the biggest defensive line, but this New Lexington Panthers defensive front can get in the backfield and really create problems.
So 2nd down and 12 now after the loss at 2. Tried to catch him off balance there with little hurry-up offense and go right back to Bach. Instead, they lose a couple yards on the play. They motion a receiver. It's Hunter in motion. And here is Walters. A little bit of time to throw. Signals a receiver. Throws it up deep. And the ball is dropped. You know, he pushed the cornerback out of bounds there. He pushed Lane Ratliff. And you'll check that on the replay here as you see on your screen.
And that's going to be a challenging task if they want to throw the ball vertical like that. Not really in their playbook. But if you choose to challenge this Panther secondary deep, it's going to probably cost you before the night's over. Bentley Hansen and Lane Ratliff, the best pair of cornerbacks in our league, in my opinion. They really can cover.
3rd down and 12. Walters, again, looking deep. He's going to throw it deep, and it goes right off the hands of his receiver, Justin Markham. We don't see a flag down.
The Logan Elm fans wanted that pass interference, but to no avail. It's going to be a 4th down here, and Braves are most likely going to have to punt the football back to the Panthers. We were expecting possibly some offensive fireworks here early, Dylan, but both teams able to get off the field defensively on their first stint.
Yeah, I mentioned 34 points or more in the last 3 games for Logan Elm. New Lexington, we know their offense is solid as well.
This team, Logan Elm, defeated Philo a week ago, 41-19, 44-19 rather.
It's a line drive punt, and originally thought it was called for a fair catch, but staying on his feet is the return man. He's hit back forward. That is Miles Wilson on the return. And it did look like he called for a fair catch. Not sure why it wasn't whistled down.
Get a second look here at the Panther offense, see if they can get something going in the positive direction this time. We know what Hansen can do. We know what Kellogg can do, but a couple of guys that might surprise you tonight, I mentioned Owen O'Brien. Talon Swindeman can make some plays, as well as Lane Ratliff. We see him, he's mostly known as a defender, but he can certainly make plays out wide as a receiver as well.
So now the second drive of the game for New Lex. Both teams, no points on their first drives. 7:28 to play, quarter number 1.
But this Panther team, they can be quick strike. We've seen Bentley Hansen get behind the defense so many times this year.
So 4 wide receivers. It's been nothing but quick passes so far in this one. In motion Kellogg right behind Stevens. He might get the tote here. Send another receiver in motion. A lot of motion here for the Panthers, and it goes to Kellogg to the right side. Kellogg lowers the shoulder, and he gets to about the 20. So a big gain, the first run of the game for New Lex.
Just a real hard runner, Carson Kellogg. 1,200 yards plus coming into the night, 6 yards per carry, 16 rushing touchdowns. A guy you can really lean on.
Said he gained 15 pounds of muscle in the offseason, so I think that definitely has helped so far in this one. Quick little look left, back to the right to Kellogg. Kellogg's got the first down. So a very good receiving threat. He had 25 catches a season ago. First down of the game for the Panthers. It's under 7 to play, quarter number 1. Play clock at 15. Kellogg moving again. And they'll go right back to him. Big crease up front. And he fights his way for another first down. So this team primarily known for their passing offense and moving the ball downfield. Kellogg over 200 yards last game, and here he is with 2 big runs on this drive.
Yeah, if you don't honor the run defensively, the Panthers will stick it right down in there with Kellogg, and he's more than capable. He's proven that all year long.
Ball now on the 40. Now it's Stevens in motion, and it's a wildcat look as this is a give once again to Kellogg.
Yeah, and that's 4 straight plays to Kellogg. He wasn't involved at all in the first series. Kevin Board said we need to get number 13 the ball. They made an effort to do so here on this set of downs.
Second down and 5, nearing midfield. Motion Hansen, and this is a play action. Stevens stays on his feet, he'll keep it himself, fights for the first down, did not get it, he's still a few yards short. But a positive gain on the play that looked broken to begin with. So third down and 2, big play call coming, and they go to Kellogg. Kellogg hit in the backfield, but once again, that second effort, it's going to get him close.
It sure is, Dylan. That was all Carson Kellogg. He was contacted at or possibly a half yard behind the line of scrimmage. And his effort, keeping the legs driving, he got close, but he didn't get there. It's going to be, looks like about 8 to 10 inches short.
So 4th and inches, got to go for it here, especially with how Kellogg's ran on this drive. Wonder if they go hard count here. The defensive line's been kind of twitchy so far in this. Maybe they can get a call there if they elect to go with a hard count. Motion Hansen. High snap, it's a pitch to Kellogg, and he's got the first down. And it's on the ground. I believe he was already down by contact, and that's what they're going to say. So first down there, risky. High snap and a pitch on a play you only need inches.
Right, I was thinking the same thing, and they got away with it. First down, Panthers. Kellogg, who's touched the ball well over 200 times offensively this year, just 3 fumbles. So typically very, very good with the football.
They pitch again, now it's a little flea flicker, back to Stevens. Stevens, pressure in his face, and he'll have to throw this one away. Smart play by the New Lex quarterback, but once again, we're seeing the tricks out of the book from Kevin Board.
Great heads-up play by Stevens just to get rid of that football. Don't take the sack. Don't throw an interception. That's all part of the maturity and decision-making from last year to this year for Stevens. Just night and day when you talk about the way he calls the game, the way he plays within the game.
So second down and 10. 3:46 to play in the first quarter. Kellogg, the tailback, 3 to his right, and a receiver to his left. One thing you'll see is lots of motion with this Panthers offense. Here's Stevens, all day to throw. Eyes downfield, rolling left, signaling a receiver, fires it deep, and it is just out of the reach of his receiver. I mean, he had all day to throw.
He sure did. He was directing traffic back there, trying to point to his receivers on where he wanted them to go. Two receivers pretty much in the same vicinity caused a little confusion downfield, but anytime a play goes on that long, you always are concerned about holding and potentially linemen downfield, but neither one of which was the case on that one. Very disciplined by the Panther offensive line.
So now a third down and 10. Been impressed with the Braves secondary so far. Usually New Lex likes to hit those big plays, have not been able to so far. This is a pass quick, and it is grabbed short of the sticks as Lane Ratliff on the catch.
Now we're going to see the Panthers get to the line quickly. We expect them to go for this 4th and 2, but they'll probably bleed this play clock, Dylan, as they have been potentially get the Logan Elm Braves to jump offside. You mentioned they were a little twitchy, to say the least. They've almost got them several times here in the first quarter offsides.
4 wide receivers, 2 yards to gain for the first down. They tried the hard count, did not get a jump. Just under 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. Kellogg, the tailback. And they're going to call timeout, or are they going to call the flag? I think they're going to award the timeout.
They are indeed going to award that timeout by Kevin Board from the sidelines. Very quick moving first quarter here, Dylan. We're under 3 minutes to play, no score. Panthers would sure like to pick up this first down and keep this drive moving.
Yeah, you're right on. You mentioned there on the last one, you said they're probably going to bleed the play clock down. That's exactly what they did. So now it gives Board some time to draw up something. Good play to get 2 yards.
You mentioned that Logan Elm secondary doing an outstanding job here in the first quarter, and you're absolutely right, my friend. Those New Lexington receivers who are used to having a lot of space downfield to operate are finding that hard to come by in this game.
Want to remind you, tonight's broadcast brought to you by Snyder Flood Lumber. They have everything for your building needs from start to finish, including pole barn kits, free delivery on every order. So a big 4th down here. Just 2 yards to get.
This Logan Elm Braves defense, they run a 3-man line, 3-man defensive line, and 4 linebackers, a 3-4-4 defense. So there is room, there is space in the A-gaps if you just want to run it straight ahead.
I think we could see a potential quarterback keeper for Stevens. He's got good legs. And he holds it, fires to his left, and that's incomplete. He was going in the direction of Owen O'Brien, and that's a turnover. Do you like the decision to throw it?
I'm surprised they didn't run it with Kellogg right there. I really am. I think they've shown on that series alone that they can get a surge and at least pick up a few yards with the run. But Kevin Board, he's the coach for a reason. He wears the whistle. He's the one making the decisions and probably trying to keep that Brave defense a little bit off balance and questioning themselves here early.
So now here's the Braves' second possession on offense. And they're going to pitch it to Bach. Bach with a crease. He's past the 50. He's working his way down the sideline, trying to get an angle there, and he's pushed out of bounds. That is Ratliff putting him out.
Saw his speed when he got in the open field right there. Very, very fast running back is Bach. And once he found some room, he was gone. I think New Lexington really needs to make an effort on contacting him at or behind the line of scrimmage and trying to slow down that progress.
Bach well over 40 yards on the ground, and there's a whistle.
Looks like we're going to get offsides against New Lexington.
And that is the call. So that's a 5-yard penalty, and now, you know, just 1 yard away from the red zone here. So 5 yards to go for the first down. They go right back to Bach. And he's hit hard, but he shrugs off a defender and works his way forward. He'll get 2 yards.
He gets a couple of those 19-yard line, second down.
So second down and 3. Just over 2 minutes before the end of the first quarter. They got 3 wide receivers with Bach in the backfield. And it's a quarterback keeper. Great play call there as it fooled New Lexington. And he is tackled at the 10.
Wow. Yeah, I think everyone in the stadium was convinced the running back had the ball, including us.
I think it was supposed to be a running back, yeah, like give to the tailback, but I think when he saw the defender hit him, he just pulled that out and ran it himself. Either way, it's a first down for Walters and the Braves. And now they are in striking distance. Not goal to go yet, the ball on the 11. They're going to pitch it out left. Bach. Bach to the outside. Good blocking there from the Braves. He works his way forward, and he's into the end zone. So Michael Bach is the first one to find pay dirt here in this one, and it's the Braves taking the early 6-0 lead.
And he ran that one in essentially without being touched. Not a good sign if you're a Panther fan. You need to figure out this riddle that is Michael Bach here in the first quarter.
We saw the replay there by the Seals, Flowers, and Gifts replay. Now they are trying the PAT. And the kick's up and good. So that is Maggie Wilson. Good for the PAT, 7-0 score.
A little bit of trouble with the snap, but the holder was able to get it down and kicker able to get it through. 7-0 early. Maybe that will jumpstart the New Lexington offense.
So Maggie Wilson, the place kicker there, she was good from about 36 in pregame warmups. I was down there watching, and it's sort of a straight line drive kick, so could be potential for a block later on in the game. But that was a solid PAT there, and it's a 7-0 score.
In addition to our game here, Dylan, we got 2 other MVL teams playing tonight. Scotty's hosting the Dover Tornadoes up in Dresden tonight. That's a 3-11 matchup. And all the way down on the Kentucky border, the West Virginia border, I should say, it's the West Muskingum Tornadoes, the 7 seed, visiting the 2 seed Fairland Dragons, a team they beat 2 years ago on that same field for their first ever playoff win in school history. So West Muskingum not unfamiliar with that field and that opponent.
That was the Ty Schauger winner in OT, correct? So 1:30 to play here in the first quarter. Getting ready to kick this one away. So Wilson kicks this one to about the 32. That's a fair catch. It is taken by Eli Dixon. And now New Lexington, first time all game, trailing here. So
And they found a little bit of success in the running game. They've completed several screen passes and got some yardage that way, but Stevens has yet to be able to complete a ball downfield. Their coverage on the back end has been stellar here in this first quarter.
And we've seen that as well. They tried a flea flicker. They tried everything.
And the Panthers love to throw the ball deep and take the top off the defense, and they haven't been able to do so yet in this one.
So 4 wide receivers. They look for another screen pass. This one completed. It is a spin move past the 40, past the 50 before he's pushed out of bounds. That is Talon Schwendeman. A big gain into the Braves side of the field.
It's the others I was talking about. Schwendeman, Owen O'Brien, Lane Ratliff. They're going to have to be big in this game. They're going to have to contribute offensively. Schwendeman, big catch and run for a first down right there.
So they motion Hansen. They get the ball in his hands. He might throw it. Keeps his eyes downfield. He has great speed, and there he goes out of the backfield. And it might be a late hit there, as he was tackled out of bounds super late.
Yes, he sure was.
43 where he was brought down.
The contact did start in bounds, but the Logan Elm defender absolutely drove Hansen all the way over the black end of the orange paint on the opposite sidelines.
You mentioned the other ones stepping up. Other players, they neutralize Hansen, but it's a good idea to just get the ball in his hands there so he can make a play. They throw it out left. This one completed to Kellogg. Kellogg with space down the sideline, past the 30. He might go, and he does. So the screen pass to the tailback, and it's Carson Kellogg all his way to the end zone.
Excellent blocking on the perimeter by the entire New Lexington receiving corps. They were all manned up. Excellent blocks, no holding violations. Kellogg did the rest himself, and I had a feeling getting behind 7-0 here on your home field might light a fire under this New Lexington Panthers team, and it did just that.
Great block out in front. Set it up, and this might be, they're going for 2 here.
The Panthers normally do. After their first touchdown, they normally go for 2.
They do have a sure kicker in Tristan Barrowman, but this is the Panthers offense staying on the field. Stevens, pressure in his face, rolls left, fires towards the back of the end zone, and it is brought in for the 2 points. That's Bentley Hansen.
That's just pure chemistry between Stevens and Hansen. As Stevens was rolling out and almost threw a no-look back against the grain, knew where Hansen would be, threw it up high where only Hansen could get it. And number 10's got as good a hands as anyone you're going to see. You get it in his vicinity, he's more than likely going to come down with the football.
So New Lex trailing right after that touchdown scored by the Braves, and in 26 seconds they go the length of the field and put a 2-point conversion on the board. So now they lead by 1 still here in the first quarter.
And I expect to see some defensive adjustments by Coach Board. He's probably not going to wait till halftime. I expect their defense is going to lock down on number 23, Michael Bach, here on this drive, as he's been the only Brave that's proven that he can hurt this Panther team so far.
Yeah, you have to neutralize that run game because Bach He's been able to do whatever he wants so far in this one. He's got over 50 yards and a touchdown in the first quarter.
And if he's going to do it, at least make him work for it. It's been way too easy here in the first quarter for Bach. Big running lanes, nobody there to pursue.
So Bach's the return man here, as well as Cameron Drake. Is the ball placed on its side from here?
I think it is.
This could be an onside kick. And it's Owen O'Brien getting ready to kick this one. And they just drill it on the ground, and it will roll all its way to Bach. Not the guy you want returning it. He's past the 20, and he's hit hard by a bunch of New Lex kick return specialists there as they find a way to get the stop at the 24.
Paul Neely makes the tackle. On the kickoff.
So I've yet to see a sideways kickoff like that. That wasn't an onside kick, but
I guess it's a good way to ensure it rolls on the ground. You just don't want to get the ball airborne.
just under a minute before the quarter break. It's been all defense so far, but here in the last 2 minutes, back-to-back offensive scores from each team. They go to Bach. Bach hit hard and tackled at the 25, just 1 yard there.
Yeah, that hole closed up very quickly that time, as it looked like there was a seam there, and it closed very quickly, just a yard on that play for the Braves. I think that's what the Panthers really need to do, is get this team as uncomfortable as possible by forcing them to throw some passes.
This is, in all likelihood, the last play before the end of the first. Nothing but blockers in the backfield. They go play action, and they hit the receiver across the middle. I think it's good for a first down. That is Justin Markham.
Looked a lot like a New Lex play right there, Dylan. Just an intermediate crosser. Gets behind the first level of defenders, and the quarterback able to hit him in stride.
10 seconds. They do snap it, and they go to Bach. Bach gets a couple yards on that carry, and that will do it for quarter number one. So a lot of defense and a couple big scores late in the quarter, and we have ourselves an 8-7 Panther lead in front of a home crowd packed here at Jim Rockwell Stadium. So that will do it for quarter number one. We will step aside. You're watching OHSAA playoff football here on South 60 Films. So we welcome you back, and immediately Bach hit right at the line. So what a way to start quarter number two. You know, they're finding a way to neutralize him after a couple drives where he's ran all over him.
Yeah, that was Nick Finley back there in the mix. Disruptive as always. Number 28 for New Lexington. One of the best defensive ends / linebackers they're going to see.
High snap over the head of Walters. It's on the ground. He fields it. And he fires just out of the reach. And what a way to try to make something out of nothing there, as it was incomplete for Gavin Hoover.
Another outstanding series by the Panther defense. Going to get the football right back in excellent field position.
So Miles Wilson, the deep man for New Lexington.
Logan Elm.
This one right at him. A fair catch called for, and he falls on it at the 39. So that's where we'll see this Panthers offense. Quick scoring on the last drive. Not sure what Coach Board has mustered up for this one.
I have a moment here, pass along a couple other scores. Dylan, Tri-Valley having no problems at home tonight, 21-0, beginning of the second quarter in Dresden. And the Tornadoes and the Dragons scoreless at the end of the first quarter all the way down in Proctorville.
So this is a quick give to Kellogg. He's hit about the 45, pushed forward to the 47.
Yep. Give him 3 yards after contact. Another good, strong run by Kellogg. Puts him well ahead of the chains here. It's 2nd and 3.
That first drive, it's been a lot of Kellogg. He has a touchdown already, and there he is on the ground picking up the first.
We know that secondary has been very conservative, not letting anything get behind them. So common sense will tell you there's room to operate in between the tackles for the running back. And that's what New Lex has exploited here in the last couple drives.
So more twitching again from this D-line of the Braves. They're going to get him eventually. This is a screen pass out, caught there by Lane Ratliff. He's got a little bit of space. He's past the 30. So it's the quick screen passes that didn't work on their first drive, but now finding success after the ability to run the football.
Corners are just giving a really big cushion at the line of scrimmage and allowing that completion to go every time, and Stevens is simply taking what the defense is giving him. And if you're going to give them that 7-8 yard cushion right off the line of scrimmage, they'll continue to do it.
The pitch goes to Kellogg. He fights to about the 26, maybe 25. So a lot of positive gains here from this Panthers offense.
Some really good blocking by the wide receivers out in space, and it's really easy to get a holding call when that happens, but these receivers really do a great job of blocking.
So 3 wide receivers, Hansen the one in the slot. Stevens goes to Kellogg. Kellogg again, another good gain. Short of the 6 by just a couple yards. Brings up 3rd down and 3 to go.
No doubt they're going to have 2 plays to gain these 3 yards here, Dylan, so the entire playbook open down on this part of the field for the Panthers, knowing that they're probably going to go ahead and go for it if they don't make this. Look for something maybe out of the ordinary here.
They motion Hansen.
Nope.
There is Kellogg. Kellogg just a burst out of the backfield. 21 before he's brought down.
They found something they like right there in that A gap, and they're going to it often here in the past 2 drives. Kellogg racking up the rushing yards.
So 1st and 10 now from the 16-yard line.
Seeing a faster pace here now, Dylan, from the Panthers.
They were going slow, controlling time of possession. Now they'll throw it out left to Bentley Hansen, and that's a rare drop from the MVL leader in receiving.
And that will keep a defense off balance and honest as well. You know, sometimes you run the play clock all the way down. Sometimes you snap it at 20 or 25 seconds. You don't have a consistent tempo offensively. It really keeps the defense guessing.
So now 2nd down and 10. This is a give to Kellogg, and he's hit by 2 Braves in the backfield. In on the tackle by Hoover.
It's going to be a substantial loss, about 4 yards.
So right when I talk about nothing but positive gains, there's a couple big stops here from the Braves.
3rd and 14 for the Panthers.
So 3rd and 14 now from the 20-yard line. See what Kevin Board has up his sleeve on this down and distance.
1 point Panther lead, just over 8 to play before halftime. And it's a fake pitch to Kellogg, quick screen across the middle. There's Hansen. Hansen works his way forward, hit hard, he's short of the line. But still a big gain there.
Sure was, about 12, maybe 13 yards, but it's going to bring up a 4th and very short.
You know, when they played West Muskingum early in the season in September, they tried those screens that were across the middle, and it worked to a lot of success. So that was a great play call there from Coach Board. 3 wide receivers, Kellogg in the backfield. Last time on 4th and short, they elected to pass. They need 2 yards for the first. Pitch out to Kellogg. He runs left and is hit hard, stays on his feet. I don't know if he got it. We're going to check the mark.
We don't have the best angle, but where that referee ran in is very close. It's very close. It might be a measurement. They are calling for the measurement. The chain gang to come out here, Dylan. This is probably going to be a nose of a football either way.
You see on the replay, just the second effort, tried to push forward, didn't get it, and he's short. That's going to be a turnover on down. So 2 times here on 4th and short, it's the Braves coming up on the winning end.
And it was the same 4th down play they ran from midfield on a 4th and 1.
Yep.
A pitch sweep to the left to Kellogg, and the Logan Elm Braves, rather, were ready for that one. At Indian Valley, they're also the Braves on my mind. They're a dominant team in this region, the number 2 seed, and that's who in all likelihood the winner of this game will play. The Indian Valley Braves hosting Waverly tonight. Mismatch on paper. We'll see how that all turns out. Indian Valley, one of the strongest teams in the region.
2 wide receivers, they motion Markham. And this is a pitch to Bach. Bach hit hard, or rather not hard, but touched in the backfield. And it still goes for a loss. I mean, he was contacted with 1 foot in the end zone.
Yeah, the Panther defense, great job of stringing him out, not letting him get to the edge, force him back into the inside where the help is. And you mentioned that's going to be a loss of 2 yards. And very uncomfortable position when you're back inside your own 5-yard line, forced with a long yardage situation. Ball security paramount back here.
2nd down and 2. This is Walters rolling left. He's hitting the back in the end zone, and he's brought down. It's a safety. What a play in the backfield. That is Paul Stenson coming up big.
Paul Stenson, don't call his name a lot, but when you do, it's typically for something very big. Very, very prime-time player is Paul Stenson. No bigger play than that one right there. It's going to put 2 points on the board for the Panthers. It's going to make the score 10-7.
I originally thought Walters was going to escape that. He had a lot of running room to the left if he wanted it, but just the grab of the jersey and a bring down there.
I think it was the best decision for him just to take that sack and the safety. I think he had some thoughts about just kind of heaving it into the middle of the field, but that could have resulted in 6 the other way. So you got to limit the disastrous moments, and Logan Elm did just there. But nevertheless, it's going to be 2 points for New Lex, and they're going to receive the ball.
So now we mentioned a 3-point game. That's big. So could be a field goal, would only tie it if it gets to that point. Not to look too far ahead into this one, but that's a big defensive stop for the Panthers. So what originally looked like a negative play with losing the 4th down opportunity there, they've still found a way to get 2 points, and they got the ball back. Now the Braves do return to start the 2nd half, so something to keep in mind. We're still 6:40 until that time. And this one kicked to the middle of the field, and it is caught just past the 50. And leaning his way forward to the 41-yard line. So momentum on the Panthers side here.
Colton Mathias with a return. Jeffrey Thompson makes the tackle.
It was the freshman Colton Mathias with the gain of about 9 there. Tell you what, this Panther fan base, I pulled up at 5:30. People tailgating,
Yep.
you know, they're out there playing music, come down, people burning fires. It's just a great atmosphere here at Jim Rockwell Stadium.
Absolutely. Love this stadium.
So this is a play action to Kellogg, eyes downfield, fires one deep for Hansen. He's got a step, and he's got a touchdown. We've said it all year long. It's Stevens to Hansen, and it's 6 for the Panthers.
It's a deadly combination. Stevens to Hansen. They've been doing it for several years. They've perfected it now. Hansen, all he needs is a little step behind the defense, and Stevens can typically put the ball in an area where Hansen can go get it. So just like that, Dylan, the last 30 seconds of game time went from 8-7 to potentially 17-7.
So they went for 2 on their first touchdown. They will elect for the PAT. It's up and good from O'Brien, but a flag is down. And it's a false start on the Panthers. So now it'll be a longer try.
Seen very few flags, though, in this first half here, Dylan. A week ago, kind of like a flag fest for us up at Whirlwind Stadium as the Tornadoes hosted the Afrocentric Nubians. Flag after flag after flag. This game here tonight, flags have not really played a factor as of yet.
So O'Brien trying this one. He'll kick it from the 15, the PAT. And I think that'd have been good from 50.
Yeah.
I mean, that ball was bombed well up onto the hill.
Yeah, this kid has a good leg. He really does.
So now 17-7 the score.
What you mentioned pregame, Dylan, the tailgating, the festivities in the parking lot, that's not a new phenomenon. That's been going on as long as I've been coming to football games here for decades. They love their Panther football in New Lexington.
So 6:28 before halftime. I want to remind you, one of the game sponsors, Custom Vehicles of Zanesville, your local source for all your automotive accessory needs. Check them out at customvehicleszane.com. So now this is a big possession coming up here for the Braves. You know, they're down 10. If they don't score, turn it over. New Lex could score again before halftime. Really turn the game on its side. Owen O'Brien kicks this one, and it bounces right up into the hands of the return man at the 20. A little bit of a move, stays on his feet and tackled out the 33-yard line. That was Cameron Drake on the return. You know, their jerseys look like the Washington Commanders out there. Very similar look.
Yeah.
First down and 10. Walters and the Braves take over on offense here. They motion Joshua Hunter. And he fires one deep. Now it's their turn to go long, but saying no way is Mason Ryder breaking that one up.
This New Lexington secondary, very underrated. They have given up some points this year, but You know, those games, when teams have nothing to lose, teams are so far behind, they're just kind of throwing it all over the field. It's easy to give up points that way, but this Panther secondary can hold their own.
He was trying to get it to Nehemiah Wall. And they'll go to Bach. And an adjustment made by the Panther defense. He's had no running room on the last 3 drives.
It seems like the first part of the game up to the Logan Elm touchdown to open our scoring, it seemed like the Braves kind of controlled the line of scrimmage and the pace of play, and New Lexington's kind of flipped that script over the past first half of the second quarter and the last few minutes of the first quarter. New Lexington is dictating the line of scrimmage right now and what Logan Elm is able to do offensively.
3rd down and 10. There's that pressure. Stepping up and in there for the sack. Initial contact made by, once again, it's Paul Stenson. He had the safety earlier in this one, and then he's in there to help with the sack. So 4th and 14. It's a punt situation now for the Braves. And they punt this one away. Fair catch called for. Going back on it and it's dropped, but whew. Exhale there as Miles Wilson was able to fall on it.
Yeah, although he did call for the fair catch, he still got to secure the football. So that was a live football. So good thing he was able to get back on top of that one. They did lose about 10 yards in the process, but Panthers will retain possession. Start this series at their own 30-yard line. 5 minutes to play before halftime, and boy, the perfect drive. I think if you're Kevin Board, would be use the majority of this 5 minutes and come away with points.
So 1st down and 10, 5 minutes before the break. Play action. They look in the direction of Hansen. Caught at the 35. Jukes a couple defenders, stays on his feet. I mean, he's got great agility. We see it on the basketball floor and we see it on the football field. I mean, just an all-around athlete. Gets
That pass right there by Stevens, though, right threaded the needle right in between 2 Brave defenders to get that to number 10.
So sticking with the hurry-up offense, they go to Kellogg. And he's hit, but once again, he's got the legs moving forward.
Yep. Contacted a yard behind scrimmage and ended up gaining 3. So that's 4 yards after contact for Kellogg.
Might be one of the most underrated backs in the MVL.
I agree.
We talk all the time about what, Carter Winland can do at West M. He runs the ball hard. He eclipsed over 1,000 yards with only, 7 games played over there?
Yeah, he did.
Kellogg, he's kind of slept on with the strong passing attack from the Panthers. 2nd down and 7. They go quick screen again. Hansen with the grab at the 50. Once again, he fights, but the ball is on the ground. They're going to say Hansen was on the ground as well. I thought I saw his knee down before the ball was there. We'll take another look on the replay here. His elbow was down before the ball came out. So 1st down in enemy territory on the 41. Just under 4 before the halftime break. And Kellogg tries to fake a pass, but they just wanted to go up and make a stop on him. So Kellogg, with a huge loss on the play, moves him back to the 45.
Yeah, the Brave defense was all over that play. We're not fooled at all. It's going to be a loss of 5 on the play. 2nd and 15 for the Panthers.
So 2nd and 15, a pistol look from the Panthers. Stevens rolls left, fires right, a rope. And it is caught there on the play by Schwendeman. But there is a flag.
They're saying ineligible man downfield here, Dylan.
That's one of those things, you run an RPO or those screen passes can kind of sneak a big guy downfield. Which
Yeah. The thing is, you don't have to be downfield much.
Yeah.
Tough job them offensive linemen have.
that'll move them back beyond midfield. 2nd and 20. At the 49, they need to get to the 31. They motion Schwendeman. Quick screen pass to Kellogg. Kellogg has tons of space in front. He's past the 30, makes a cut back, and he's showing that burst as he fights his way into the end zone. So a screen pass on the other side of the field results in a touchdown from Kellogg, his 2nd receiving touchdown of the game.
The number 13s came to play tonight here, Dylan. Making a strong case early to become the player of the game, but far from over. But this was 7-0 with 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. Now we're 3 minutes to play before halftime. 23-7 Panthers, 23 unanswered points. Extra point pending here on this latest touchdown.
So O'Brien, his kick is no good. He missed it right. So 23-7 remains the score. But yeah, like you said, 23 unanswered points. This was a game that started with great defense through the first 11 minutes of the game, and then it's been nothing but offense in the last, 13?
The Logan Elm Braves played an MVL team a week ago, played an MVL team in the 2nd round of the playoffs. It's their 3rd consecutive year in the playoffs for Logan Elm, but last week was their first playoff win in that 3-year span. So they've been here, but haven't found much success in Region 15 before last week. So have to see how that plays into their mindset, getting down here on the road in the first half by this large of a deficit.
So just over 3 minutes. You know, they still have a shot here. If they score on this drive, use the clock well, they do get ball to start the second half. So you could punch one in, make it 14, and then go down to start the second half, and it's back to 2. So there is a scenario where it could become close, but a 3-and-out here and another New Lex score could really turn the tides. So O'Brien getting ready to kick this one. He usually puts it on the ground and hopes for a hop, but he does kick it deep when he does this. This one drilled right at a defender, and it went out of bounds. So we saw the Braves kick one out of bounds in the first quarter. Now it's New Lex's turn to do that, and we'll see this Braves offense take over with good field position.
I understand the mindset of trying to keep the ball out of the hands of potential returners that could, in one play, could turn this game around. But if you're going to play that game, take a lesson from Nate Brownrigg and West Muskingum. If you're going to kick it short, at least give your team an opportunity to recover the football.
Yeah.
They kicked 4 of those last week and recovered 2 of them. That one was kicked so hard that nobody had a chance to field it, even the Logan Elm team.
Even in that situation, you might just back up. Like, it's kicked so hard, you got to think that even if you touch it, it could be negative for your team. So here is Walters in the Braves. Quick pass out to the right. Taken there by Markham. Stays on his feet, and he's tackled just at the 40, so gain of 2.
Lane Ratliff, the first man to make contact. Bentley Hansen cleans up the mess. He ran an awful long way to gain 2 yards on that first down play. It'll be a 2nd and 8.
.230 to play before halftime. We'll be able to see the bands perform at halftime if you stick around for the halftime show. Here's Walters. Throws off his back foot, and he connects with a receiver, and it's going to go for a first down. There to make the catch, it is Gavin Hoover. Said Hoover's name a couple times in this one.
Yeah, he left his defender in the dust and was wide open, running across the middle of the field.
I don't know how Walters threw that ball. Both feet were not planted. He had one in the air and kind of just slung it out like a backyard football quarterback. showing blitz. Pressure comes in the face of Walters. He keeps his eyes downfield. He tries to run. And he might get one on the play. I think he does.
Run out of bounds by Nicholas Finley.
So it'll be 2nd and 9 after that short game.
The 47. Second down.
Nicholas Finley, the one who made the play. Tanner Toth had a chance to make the play in the backfield on the quarterback, but potentially was blocked from behind, wasn't called. Tanner Toth, one of the team leaders in tackles on the Panthers defense.
High snap. This will be Bach. Bach hit in the backfield and brought down.
Miles Wilson. Kick return extraordinaire out there making plays on defense. That's going to prompt a timeout here from Kevin Board. He's got this Logan Elm Braves team on a 3rd and 12 with a minute and a half left in the first half. He wants the football back, Dylan.
Yeah, you know, when you have an offense that's quick striking as well, you can really capitalize on those opportunities. I mean, he had a 51-yard screen pass go to the end zone, so you can throw it short. He had a big strike already to Hansen, so.
And you've really got a lot of confidence and momentum offensively going right now. I know Kevin Board would love to get the football back in the hands of Isaiah Stevens and the offense one last time before they hit the locker room.
So 3 first-half touchdowns already for Bentley Hansen. That puts them up to 34 touchdowns on the year. 34 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. So definitely making a stride here in his senior season. It's over 1:30 before the halftime break. Walters looks downfield. More pressure. Evades a sack. And he's going to take a sack. He's brought down at the 40. Getting in the backfield to make the play there, Harrison Ratliff.
Harrison Ratliff, the leader in tackles on the New Lexington team, and you saw right there what he can do defensively. He made that play in the open field all by himself. Very, very sure tackler.
Coming into the game, 79 total tackles.
I tell you, I've lived in this area my whole life, and I know that when you see Ratliff, when you see that last name, the player's going to be very athletic, and more often than not, they're going to be a key contributor on the field, and that's the case for Harrison and Lane Ratliff here on this Panther squad. Both young players, but both key contributors to the success of the Panthers team.
We see Lucas at Marietta College. He was a quarterback before Stevens here, and also a talented safety. That's where he's playing his position in college. This one kicked deep, and it is a fair catch called for at the 28. So the Panthers going to have 122 with no timeouts.
They'll have 1:22 to go in the half and no timeouts. Timeout for Braves.
So now Logan Elm will call timeout. Trying to discuss probably not getting burnt here. You know, you only got 122, no timeouts. Keep them in bounds, let the clock wind, short yardage plays.
The Panthers have proven not only in this game, but all year long, they can throw short passes and make big gains out of those passes. So you have to get to the ball and make the play if you're Logan Elm, because one missed tackle can often mean 20, 30, 40-yard chunk gains for this Panthers team. They really have the playmakers that can make that happen.
So what else you did there by calling timeouts? You gave New Lexington time to draw up something funky that could hit you in the mouth.
Yeah.
We've seen a flea flicker attempt. We've seen a quick screen pass.
Yeah.
It looks like the running back might throw it a couple times.
It's probably going to all hinge on the results of this first play, first and second play they have scripted here. How these plays goes probably will determine how aggressive they get in this final minute 22.
So they came out with 5 wide receivers. They'll put Kellogg in the backfield. Would not be surprised to see Kellogg run it here either. They do have numbers to the outside. Motion man is Schwendeman. Stevens all day to throw. And now he feels some pressure, and he's going to fire this one out of bounds.
Looked like he had Bentley Hansen right in the middle of the field. Flashed open momentarily, but Stevens must not have saw him. Right in between a pair of defenders.
So 9 seconds came off the clock there, 1:13 before halftime.
You might want to hand the ball off or make sure you complete the pass here and keep this clock running.
Stevens is going to take off himself and run it. He works past the 40 and he's out of bounds at the 42 and a late hit. So a late hit, he gets up, fired up, pumping up his team, and that's going to move him into enemy territory.
Yeah, that's going to be a free 15 for the Panthers, just what you couldn't afford to do if you're Logan Elm, and that's the second time they've drove a player out of bounds, and they got called for it that time.
So it adds on 15 on top of the gain that got him to the 42. So now it'll be on the opposite 43. So they got 5 wide receivers, quick screen pass. Goes to the outside to Ratliff. Ratliff to the 40 before he's out of bounds. Still over a minute, 1:01 here before halftime.
And the Panthers are working with no timeouts, so they're really working the boundaries, trying to get the ball completed quickly and get out of bounds when they see contact coming.
Looks like the same play. They might fake it this way and go the other way. See what they have drawn up. 2nd down and 7. They do. They look the other way. It's a little hook and ladder, and it's still on the ground as Schwendeman falls on it. I think it might be incomplete there. He didn't hold on to it for a while.
You know, if Schwendeman would have handled that football, he would have walked in for 6 right there, Dylan. There was no one behind him to stop that play.
Always blown away by the creativity of this New Lex offense. It's a new wrinkle every week. Here's Stevens, across the middle, juggled and dropped. And he was going for Lane Ratliff. But there is a flag down late.
Another ineligible lineman downfield.
So that's not good. 31 seconds.
And that football came out of Stevens' hands very quickly. I'm very surprised that a lineman even had an opportunity to get downfield that fast.
So Coach Board barking at his players from the sideline.
A little bit sloppy, not the way you want to end the first half, but you have a comfortable lead as long as you can take this into the locker room. Be just fine.
So we got 4th down, 3 wide receivers. So 22 seconds. Like I said, the bands will be showing off their skills at halftime with a little show here for us. But if you're the Braves, just saw 29 straight points dumped on your head. And this one is kicked on the ground, and it'll be fielded by Bach. He's got something to the outside, trying to reverse field, and he's hit at the 22.
Seems like they ask an awful lot out of that young man. They kind of rely on him in every phase of the game, and he came out of the gates really flying in the first quarter, but New Lexington, those adjustments have really worked. And I'm sure there'll be more adjustments to come at halftime and just how they want to play this second half. But the in-game adjustments by Kevin Board, can't say enough about those.
So 14 seconds. Don't know if they try anything, trying to get the ball back. They get it at halftime. They are going to try it. So here is the quarterback, Walters. He rolls, fires across the middle of the field. Got it at the 30. Moves to the 35 with 4 seconds. I think a timeout's called. And I don't think they did call a timeout, so that will round up the half. So a game that began with a lot of great defense for the first 10, 11 minutes, you could say. It's been all offense since. You know, we've seen 36 points scored since the 1-minute mark of the first quarter. So a lot of points, a lot of offense, a lot in favor of the Panthers. Coach Ted, what have you seen so far?
I've seen the Panthers just doing what they do. Bentley Hansen, his second touchdown he just caught. Carson Kellogg's found a couple trips to the end zone, so it's the usual suspects doing the usual things down here at the Rock. And I just, like I said, can't be any more excited for this Panthers team to potentially come out of here with a victory and move on to the regional semifinals.
So that'll do it for the first half. 29-7, the Panthers lead over the Braves. The Braves get the ball to start the second half. And until we return, it will be the bands giving out the halftime performance. You're watching OHSAA Playoff Football on South 60 Films.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is halftime with the OMEA State Marching Band finalist, Logan Elm High School Marching Band of Pride. The Logan Elm High School Marching Band of Pride is under the direction of Becky Wagner and Casey Wagner. Additional band staff includes Jim Chickerell, brass and visual, Carl Anspaugh, percussion, Josh Hayes, audio and woodwinds. Color guard is under the direction of Hannah Thompson and Debbie C. Visual design is by Mark Maxwell and musical arrangements by Luke McMillan. Drum majors for the Band of Pride include Isaac Conkle, Percy O'Phelan, and Harley Zander. For tonight's halftime performance, we are pleased to present some of our favorite tunes from the season.
always knew that guy was
opportunity to thank the Logan Elm Board of Education, Logan Elm Administration, especially the Logan Elm High School administrators, Mr. Smith, Dr. Robinson, Mr. King, Mr. Dilly, Mr. Karstner, Mr. Grossi, Logan Elm staff, Logan Elm music producers, and band parents for all their support. We would also like to thank our band pride level sponsors, Q1, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Nissan, and Honda of Athens City, Home Helpers Home Care, North Court Animal Clinic, and Uniquely Yours. Thank you all so much. We could not be at our best without you and all your help and support. And go Braves!
Guys, please play.
The direction of Mr. Michael Folk and Flag Corps Advisor Ashley Harvey, we proudly present the pride of the Panthers, your 2024 New Lexington High School Marching Band! Neurotic, melodramatic, paranoid, it all keeps adding up that the Marching Panthers are kicking off tonight's Green Night Show with the 1994 hit Basket Case.
that would.
and your hair gelled up as the band performs the classic 1978 hit from the movie Grease. Here's Grease Lightning! know you're going to come running back for more. Enjoy LK's 2015 Platinum Hits, X's and O's.
think I bumped up the over 5 or 6 points because I knew it was going to be. So you can increase your odds a lot by bumping that up a little bit. Every time I try to lose, I always lose. Overthrows, I don't know. Numbers are so hard to get.
For half number 2, about 2 minutes before it gets underway. A lot of scoring so far in this one. We have a lot of plays that took place. You know, a couple touchdown plays from the New Lex side. You had Hansen with 2, and then you had Kellogg with 2 scores as well, all through the air. Yeah. Take a look at some of these replays that we've seen. So Logan Elm got on the board first. That was Rock finding the end zone, or Bach. And then the screen pass. That was a big one to Kellogg.
It looked like a defender had an angle. He's going to come into your screen right there, but Kellogg able to beat him in the race to the goal line.
Tried the 2-point conversion. They fired it to the back of the end zone, and right there for it was Bentley Hansen. That put the Panthers up 2, and then a big play, getting the safety there, and then on that little bit later, deep strike connecting with Hansen.
That was the first of 2 for Hansen, and the second one was even more impressive, the acrobatic catch.
And the Panthers D showing up again, and then once again, a quick little screen pass to Kellogg, and he went the distance all the way.
And he drug a couple of defenders the final 10 yards. You can see right there, at least one defender. Kellogg not to be denied.
So then Logan Elm back on offense, and then this was right before halftime, rolling, and ran out of time. Sacked at the 40, and then New Lex right before halftime. Big strike.
This right here is the best catch I've seen in a long time right there. Bentley Hansen in between 2 Logan Elm defenders, able to come down with the football. Not the first time they've done that, my friend.
Yeah. It looked very similar to the one that scored earlier. I mean, right between two defenders, that one was a better throw and catch. But I mean, either way, New Lex, 29 straight points they've rattled off. So, you know, they're in position now here heading into half number 2. They're going to be on defense first, but still an opportunity to kind of put this game to bed if they're able to get some stops.
It seemed like once they made the adjustment and stopped Michael Bach from all those huge running lanes, it seemed like Logan Elm kind of lost their identity. They were unable to counter with anything different, and they weren't able to make the adjustments that New Lex was in game. And that's why we stand at this 29-7 deficit right now.
So Bach and Drake back deep to return for the Braves. They got 24 minutes to keep their season alive. Going to need a lot of quick scoring and a lot of stops if they want to be able to do that. But the 4 first half touchdowns for Bentley, or rather Isaiah Stevens, you know, they put him up over at 35 on the year. That's an impressive total right there. So here is Owen O'Brien getting ready to kick this one away. And this one's in the air as it kicks off of Bach at the 20. He will then start to go backwards before he is making some moves past the 20 and pushed out of bounds near the 24-yard line, 23. So that's where we will see this Braves offense take over in quarter number 3.
We'll find out here in a minute how the Logan Elm Braves are going to respond offensively to that first half onslaught. That they find themselves in a huge deficit. Will they continue to pound the ball with Michael Bach, or will they start to try to open up this offense a little bit?
So first down and 10 from the 23. Walters with Bach to his right, and he rolls right. Fires one deep down the sideline, and great defense right there from the corner. I believe that is Hansen breaking it up. He was trying to go deep for his target.
Billy Hansen in coverage, one of the best in the business, able to deflect that football. Almost was able to come down with the interception and get another look at it here. A little bit underthrown, but Bentley Hansen right there with his man. Throw it, Bentley Hansen, at your own risk.
So 5 wide receivers now. And there is a flag down. It's a false start. The ref accidentally pulled out, I think it was some sort of warmer in his pocket instead of the flag on the ground, but he eventually got out the laundry. So that moves them back 5, second down and 15. Go back to an empty set. Looks like the same play call as Walters. Now rolling right. I think they just want to send it deep. But in there with the sack. I mean, this Panthers defense has showed up time and time again.
That was Paul Stinson again, the man responsible for the safety in the first half. He's there to pick up his second sack of the ball game. Going to get another look at it. Stinson right through the teeth of that offensive line and made a beeline for the quarterback. That's going to put the Logan Elm Braves in a very precarious situation. Third down and 27 from their own 5-yard line.
So here's Walters, more pressure, and another safety. 2 Panthers in there to bring down the quarterback. You know, this pass rush from the Panthers has been elite.
Yep, sure has. We're going to get another look right here. And that is, guess who? Paul Stinson. Once again, give him a half a sack on that one. The 75 was also on the scene.
That was Eli Stevens. We'll see him on the hardwood here soon.
Not a couple of bad players to have in the back here making plays for you.
So 2 safeties from this Panther defense. And now you look, you know, it's a 31-7 score. Another touchdown here, and it's a running clock.
Yeah, hard to believe when, you know, with 3 minutes to play in the opening quarter, Logan Elm was leading this game 7-0. 31 unanswered points from the Perry County Panthers, and They're going to be getting the football right back. You couldn't have scripted a better open to the third quarter, Dylan.
New Lexington Athletics.
Going to have to kick this one away again from the 20. Last time they kicked it, the ball was eventually placed at the 41, so see what they can do here on this return.
And now you have to wonder about the mindset of the Logan Valley Braves. You know, are they mentally still in this football game, or have they kind of conceded? Because New Lexington has certainly taken control of this game, to say the least.
So getting ready to kick this one away. And they do kick it pretty deep. It's past the 40, and it'll be fielded there. And a little bit of a crease, and they get it past the 40. So that's Tatum Toth. And New Lex, first offensive possession here in the second half, will come with a 39.
Justin Markham returns the kick back to the 39-yard line of the Braves, where the Panthers will start first down.
Eli Stevens running in late on the field, number 75. You see him just come in your screen right there. He's the center. Snaps the ball to his older brother, Isaiah.
He was also one of the two in there on the safety. They got 5 seconds to snap it, and Stevens didn't on the ball. Gonna have to snap it real quick. Motion left, and they do. That's a pulled down by Isaiah Stevens. Looks downfield to a wide open receiver. Past the 10, into the end zone goes Owen O'Brien.
O'Brien's one of the guys I said could come up big in this game, and there's a touchdown for number 11. I think he had about 18 catches on the year coming into tonight, but certainly capable of making an impact as he did right there.
So
Stevens wanted to run this ball, you can see, and he just kept his eyes downfield. Saw O'Brien wide open behind the defense.
That's just a smart play, too, especially when you get on those situations where the defender either has to commit to the quarterback or give up the big play. You kind of pick your poison there, and Stevens really smart, keeping his eyes downfield, finding the touchdown. PAT by O'Brien. Not only does he score the touchdown, he has the point after. So 38-7, and we have ourselves a running clock.
And the New Lexington Panthers have scored 9 points, Dylan, in the first minute 48 of the third quarter. That's, I mean, they just picking up right where they left off in the first half. And you know, we've seen them do this to league opponents, but we're here in week 12 against a very good Logan Elm team. We weren't anticipating this big deficit, but Panthers came to play tonight. I mentioned their second consecutive home game here in the postseason, earning the 3 seed in Division 15 and Division 4, Region 15 rather. And they did earn that spot. You mentioned winning all their games except for one blemish against the Scotties of Tri-Valley here back on September the 20th. Been a long time since they've lost a football game.
You know, I tell you, this is a team, not to get too ahead of ourselves, but, you know, great offensive personnel. They can pick their poison with who they want to go to on the outside. They have a great run game with Kellogg, and the quarterback with, what, over 36 touchdowns now on the year, to only 3 interceptions. The defense, if the line plays like that, the way they've played here in the second quarter and beyond, I mean, this is a team that has a deep run ahead.
Yeah, certainly is possible. The road's definitely going to get tougher a week from now when we get the regional semifinal games and everything will be at neutral sites.
So this one kicked to the 20, be fielded there by Drake. Drake hit hard and tackled. I mean, they've just been all over the place.
So now we are officially have a running clock here on week 12. Hard to believe, but that's where we are. The clock will only stop if the Logan Elm Braves are able to cut back into this deficit. The clock will stop for change of possession and referee stoppages, injuries, and other things like that, but it will not stop for anything else.
When we first started this game, you know, the running back for Logan Elm, we've seen Michael Bach. You know, he cracked a couple big runs, over 50 yards in the first quarter and a touchdown as well. And we were wondering, okay, can New Lex's D end up stopping that? And they've been able to do that so far to this point. And this one is intercepted by Bentley Hansen past the 20, and he's tackled inside the 15. So it's been all Panthers.
Yeah, team leader in interceptions, Bentley Hansen. Said it a couple times throughout the broadcast, throw at number 10 at your own risk, and they do right here. They test him, and Hansen jumps the route, nearly returns that one to the end zone. That's his 5th INT on the year. Team leader in that category. New Lexington right back in business offensively.
So with the running clock, you know, if they punch another one in, it's already a blowout, but that's now it's getting crazy. 38-7 your score, just over 8 to play in the third quarter. They motion Hansen, Kellogg on the give. He gets tackled at the 6. When do you start worrying about injuries as a coach? Like when do you start pulling in?
I don't know if you're concerned about that in week 12. You're just trying to win football games at this point.
I guess there is still a lot of time on the clock.
They certainly do have to keep that in mind. As we mentioned, the road gets much tougher a week from now. No longer will you enjoy the cozy comforts of Jim Rockwell Stadium.
Gonna have to throw on the road unis and see where you go. 3 wide receivers, along with Kellogg. They fake the pitch. Stevens keeps himself, runs out to the left, and he is tackled out of bounds, the 5-yard line.
He was searching for a room and just couldn't find any to squeeze through. I mentioned Stevens, more than 300 yards rushing, so not a huge threat, but more than capable of doing so if the play breaks down. Not too many design runs for Stevens, but he can make things happen.
So 3rd down and 3. It's not goal to go yet. They still need to get to the 2. And this pass is out right. O'Brien drops it. He caught it and fumbled right away. And
they're going to call that a catch?
Now I think they're calling it incomplete.
Yeah, it's sad. I didn't think he ever had complete control of the football.
He fell on it, which is a smart thing to do in case it was a fumble.
4th down here, Dylan. They could certainly go for it, and they certainly have proven they got a kicker that can make it from this distance.
Doesn't hurt to try the attempt.
It would only be about a 23-yard attempt from here. Looks like they're going to line up to go for this one.
So Kellogg, the one in the backfield. Got 3 wide receivers. They give to Kellogg. Kellogg straight ahead and in for the touchdown. So he's got 2 through the air and 1 on the ground. Call him FedEx. He's got ground and pound.
4th and 3 from the 5-yard line. Handoff to Kellogg seems like the play to call. It certainly worked. And his 3rd score of the night. And I am a little bit of shock here, Dylan, as 44-7, New Lexington leads, pending this extra point, and we still have a quarter and a half of football left to play.
This kick is up and good. So 45-7 the score.
And the Logan Elm faithful that have made their way to New Lexington from Circleville are in a little bit of shock opposite of us. Logan Elm located in Circleville, about 25 miles south of the capital city, Columbus. It's a little bit of a drive to get here to New Lexington. And they're faithful in stunned shock, as I mentioned.
So 45-7, you'll see the score on the Perry Dice Froyo scoreboard. For any of your sweet tooth needs, head to Perry Dice Froyo. Have you ever had that?
I have not.
I also have not had it. I tell you what, the logo looks great. You
Yeah.
can see it on the screen. And, you know, the way it sounds, their little slogan, sounds like something I want to try sometime.
We had a pair of white mittens turned into the booth.
So 5:19 on the clock. Big lead here.
Your white mittens, check your pockets.
you know, it's been a little bit of both when it comes to two things here from the Panthers defense. I think at times we have seen the Braves quarterback Walters hold on to the ball just a little bit too long and take a few of those sacks that could have been thrown away, but also at the same time, you know, the Panthers defense is getting in there to create those opportunities.
Absolutely, and making the play once they get to the football, not allowing the quarterback to escape.
This one stays on the carpet, taken by Bach, and he's hit at the 30. I tell you what, also when it comes to these kickoffs, like they're not kicked super deep, they're not kicked, you know, through the air, but they're rarely making it past the 30 every time. It's great field position.
Yeah, they have a plan on kickoffs, and that's evident. They've stuck to it. A lot of times that ball rolling on the ground is a lot harder to field than one out of the air. Football takes some really awkward and unusual bounces off the turf sometimes.
3 wide receivers now. This is a give to Bach. Bach to the outside. Quarterback got hit hard on the play, and Bach loses his footing before falling down.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on there, Dylan.
Little extracurricular
Get another look at it. Nick Finley just lay right there, just lays out Walters. And then behind the action, there was a player from New Lex and a player from Logan Elm engaged in a block with one another, and their momentum carried them all the way back to the 20-yard line.
Refs letting him play. Yeah. That was a quarterback got drilled there on that play. You know, when you run an option, you expose yourself to that. You're allowed to do it. You know, you put the step down and try to fake it.
Well, we saw him pull that ball in the first quarter. Everyone thought the running back Bach had the football, and Walters came out of there with it. So you can't take anything for granted.
So with the running clock, there's just over 3 to play in the third. Here's Walters.
Lost a shoe.
Loses his shoe and throws an interception. Right there for it's O'Brien. O'Brien is tackled down at the 41.
Yeah, it's threw that right into the chest of Owen O'Brien. And it's, you know, we haven't seen this team this year, but it looks pretty evident that the success of their passing game is a result of their running game. If they can run the ball successfully, it feeds their passing game, and New Lexington has just shut down their run game since that 3-minute mark of the first quarter.
So we've seen a handful of sacks from this Panthers defense. We've seen 2 safeties and 2 interceptions. It's a great game from that side of the ball.
Yeah, the Panthers defense tonight has been stellar in all aspects.
3 wide receivers. Kellogg the back. They go right to Kellogg. He pushes forward. So you don't have to run, you know, to run the clock out, because it's going to keep running regardless. So you still could throw the ball if you'd like.
The ball to the 39-yard line. 2nd and 7.
How
about O'Brien's game today?
Yeah,
he's got a couple of PATs. He's got the touchdown. He has a pick.
Yeah. Yeah, he made a couple of big catches when we were here back on September 20th for that Tri-Valley game, and as well as the West Muskingum game up in Zanesville. You can't sleep on the rest of the guys.
Stevens looking deep, fires deep, triple coverage, and it's incomplete. Yeah, that might have been interception number 4.
that football didn't look right. It certainly didn't come out of his hands right. It was a wobbler the whole way. And Isaiah Stevens usually throws a nice tight spiral. So I don't know if he was hit right after he released the football, or it just kind of slipped in his hand, one or the other.
Your son Jacob is looking for you. He's on the New Lex side of the field at the press box entrance.
Just over a minute to play in the third. Third down and 7. O'Brien in motion. Kellogg with the give. Kellogg with space. He's short of the line to gain.
Not by much. He's going to be about a yard short here, partner. No doubt the Panthers are going for this. The third quarter winds down. 4th down and 1.
So here is the 4th down play call. Got to think they're going Kellogg here, and they do. Kellogg hit, but once again showing that fight for a first down. So that'll do it for quarter number 3. The Panthers lead 45-7. And that'll do it for the third quarter of play here from Jim Rockwell Stadium. We're going to step aside. You're watching OHSAA high school playoff football here on South 60 Films. At 24. And that welcome you back as the pass is out to Schwendeman. He gets 9 yards on the play. So 45-7.
I'm still in a little bit of shock by this score, Dylan. I mean, I've seen the Panthers the 3rd time I've seen them this year, and I know what they can do, but it's hard to convince yourself they're going to do that in a Week 12 game against a team with 8 wins. But New Lexington just very, very determined tonight, and their execution these Stevens. So I think anytime you get a chance to.
They go right back to Matthias. He gets the first down. So hard running from the freshman. Two wide receivers to the left of Stevens. They go to Matthias. Matthias running left, working his way forward, and he is in for the touchdown. So Colton Matthias finds pay dirt here in the later stages of this ball game.
Everyone getting in on the action tonight in a Panther uniform. 51 points, and we still have 9 minutes to play in this football game, my friend. An offensive explosion by the Panthers tonight after a slow start in the first quarter. New Lexus came to life.
So O'Brien will try to make it 52. It's hard to believe. You know, when we first started this game, a bunch of defensive stops. It was 8-7 after 1.
And Michael Bach was finding all kinds of space to run the football, inside, outside. I think he had over 50 yards in the first quarter alone. And New Lex, those in-game adjustments put a stop to that, and Logan Elm has had no answer since.
You know, that's really been the difference here. You know, the coaching from Coach Board and staff realizing what they needed to do after being gashed on the run on the first couple drives there.
And when you think about, you know, the opposite really sharpened the teeth of the other teams and got them ready for a playoff run.
So O'Brien kicks this one past Drake and into the end zone. I've never seen that. Kicked on the ground through the end zone. It's impressive work. Not sure where we'll be next week, partner, but
yeah,
we'll be somewhere.
We'll either be watching these New Lexington Panthers again or watching the West Muskingum Tornadoes, and we don't know their opponents yet, but in all likelihood, New Lexington will play Indian Valley unless something changes, unforeseen. You know, that game probably be played up closer to at the Zanesville-Cambridge area. But West Muskingum in all likelihood will be playing Wheelersburg, which is from the far southern part of Ohio. So they'll probably be facing quite a road trip again a week from now.
So this is a give to Bach, and Bach slips in the backfield. A lot of slipping so far here in the second half, at least. You saw a shoe fall off. We saw Bach slip for a run earlier, and he slips there as well.
The biggest matchup a week from now could be Tri-Valley Steubenville.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I know everybody's been looking forward to that for about the last 6 weeks, and it could all come to a fruition a week from tonight.
This is play action. Walters rolling left. Eyes downfield, fires deep. He connects with the receiver, and that is Hoover. Hoover's having himself a game. That one past the 35. You're at the 33, they'll mark it. Big throw and catch from the Braves.
That was a beautiful throw. Hit this receiver right in stride. And love to see that the Logan Elm Braves have not quit the fight.
Now a give to Bach. Bach running left. This is his best run so far since the early stages of the first quarter. He's hit at the 15, rather 16.
You want to talk about some new faces out there. We're seeing a lot of new numbers out there for New Lexington, my friend. Is moments ago you mentioned when would it be time to start getting some of your starters on the sidelines and thinking about next week. I think that time has come.
It's over 5 minutes to play. 52-7 the score. But now the Braves in the red zone. The give to Bach. He dances the way forward and hit. Tell you what, the second unit here from the Panthers. Their D-line showing up.
Yeah, a lot of these players out there now probably didn't think there was any chance they were getting on the field tonight in week 2 of the playoffs, but here they are, and they're chomping at the bit to get out there and make a play.
So here's Walters. Pass incomplete. He was going for Hoover. Big hit on the play. That was Terrell King blowing him up.
Yeah, we have a flag on the field, Dylan. I don't know if it's due to that hit. It looks like the referee has the preliminary indication is helmet to helmet targeting.
I believe he led with the shoulder. I just saw the replay here.
Yep. This is much to the dismay of the Panther fans here, Dylan. They don't like the call, but the referee saw it differently.
Coach Board out talking to the ref. I mean, that's sometimes when you see a big hit, you know, they're more inclined to call something like that. But we saw on the replay that was shoulder to head contact.
Yep. They were quickly running out of time in this one with the running clock. We're under 4 minutes to play, so even if the Braves were able to get one in here, it's going to be all for naught.
3rd down and 4. So here is Walters. All day to throw, off his back foot, and finds a receiver in the end zone. And there's a Braves touchdown. Pass complete to Peyton Piacentini.
I'm not sure I've ever seen a quarterback consistently throw with 1 foot off the ground as he's done tonight. We've seen him. You're going to get another look right here. No pressure on him. He just willingly leaves his feet to throw the pass. It's kind of bizarre, but it works for him.
So the first catch of the game for Piacentini goes for a score. Here is Maggie Wilson. Had her PAT up and good before, and this one good as well. So now it's 52-14. 2:54.
So that was the first Logan Elm score since the 6 or 7 minute mark of the first quarter, and that stops a 52 unanswered point streak by the Panthers in New Lexington. Very impressive display here tonight. A couple weeks in a row, they've been very impressive here at home against, some of the best competition in the region. This is the playoffs, so they're playing the best of the best. Holding serve here at the Rock. Going to move on to week 13, the Panthers.
It's exciting times.
It is very exciting. It's been a while since we had a local team make a deep playoff run, and now we have several in the mix in different divisions, so all kinds of opportunities for the Muskingum Valley League out here.
Isaiah Stevens was out there on the kick team, and Coach Board said, get off the field. So they just subbed in another player. You don't want your star quarterback with 36 touchdowns out there.
He's thrown 4 touchdowns in this game?
5.
5 touchdown passes, but I think a couple of his more impressive throws were the ones he threw out of bounds.
Yeah.
As ones he might have tried to make a heroic play out of a year ago and thrown interceptions.
This one kicked deep to the lone return man. Kind of dribbles it like a basketball before falling on it at the 18. So running clock just over 2 minutes. It appears Stevens' day is done.
Yeah, Panthers don't even have enough to play right now, my friend. Here comes the 10th player on the field. Gonna need one more here in New Lex.
Got 15 on the play clock. They're gonna run out of time here.
You still only have 10 guys out there that I count. Do you see 11 players out there, my friend?
I don't think so. 2, 4, 6.
Here comes the 11.
There he is.
Here comes.
You got 1 second on the play clock, and that's going to draw a flag.
Yeah. As I mentioned,
So delay a game.
these players, I assure you, were not expecting to play minutes in this game tonight. But here they are.
So the clock continues to wind. We're at 1:33. Not sure who the quarterback is. It looks like it is Eli Dixon back there. So now the Braves call timeout.
They want to make wholesale substitutions of their own. With the running clock, you're not able to do that without calling timeouts there. You see them there congratulating their seniors playing their last football game.
Braves fans standing on their feet right now, applauding them as they step aside and give way to the second unit that comes in. As for the Panthers, this is the last time they'll play at home this year. What a way to do it. 52
Yeah.
points.
Yep. This stadium, I've seen magic happen in this stadium over the years, and nothing ever surprises me here at the Rock. It's an environment unlike any other. What a wonderful place to watch a game as a fan, but an incredibly tough place to win a game as a road opponent. The Braves are finding that out the hard way here tonight.
4 wide receivers. It's Dixon with tailback off to the left. And Eli will just knee this one. Gonna have to do one more of those before you can put it in the books. Nothing under center. It's funny seeing the shotgun knee.
Yeah, I know.
Not the conventional way, but
Yeah, you don't see many teams putting their quarterback right directly under center anymore. But I'll tell you what, with these new rules where you're able to push from behind, you're doing your team a disservice if you don't have some sort of package of an under center,
yeah.
short yardage package with your quarterback under center, because that's going to be the way football goes.
So the Panthers moving on to week 13. A 52-14 win here at Jim Rockwell Stadium. Just an impressive performance here tonight.
Sure was, my friend. A little bit of a slow start in the first quarter, but the Panthers really poured it on. Quarters 2 and 3 were really all New Lexington, and that's where they won the football game at.
So 52-14 the final. We will wrap things up here from Jim Rockwell Stadium with our post-game show, but right now we will step aside. You're watching OHSAA playoff football here on South 60 Films. Here at Jim Rockwell Stadium, a 52-14 final. The Panthers beating the Braves. You know, it was a lot of big plays in this one from the New Lex side. I mean, it was almost the whole highlight reel that we're about to see was all New Lex. But give their alma mater one last go here at Jim Rockwell, but there was one of the sacks here in the second half.
That was Paul Stinson. He had a whale of a game. 2.5 sacks. He was responsible for both safeties.
Then here we see Isaiah Stevens looking downfield, keeping his eyes there, and he connects with Owen O'Brien, his 5th passing touchdown.
Yeah, 5 TD passes on the night for Stevens. Can't say enough about him, but there were just so many players making plays for New Lexington. There you see Bentley Hansen intercepting a pass.
So then that drive was capitalized with a rushing touchdown from Carson Kellogg, which kick-started the running clock. A lost shoe from Walters and another pick. That was O'Brien.
Second pick of the night for the Panthers. And here comes Matthias getting into the mix.
Yeah, Matthias, the freshman tailback, putting some touches on that one there from the Panthers. And there we see an off-balance throw for a touchdown, connecting in the back of the end zone for the Braves. So they were able to, you can't say 52 unanswered to end the game, because then they put up their 7. But they did allow 52 straight points coming up here in this one. So the Panthers able to get it done. What stood out to you the most, the offense production or the defense?
Well, nothing really surprised me. I think the deficit is a little surprising, but how the Panthers actually played was not surprising. This is just who they are. It's how they're built. They're very, very balanced. They spread the wealth very well. I mentioned Kellogg, 2 receiving scores, a rushing score. Hansen got in the end zone twice. Stevens passed for 5. Paul Stinson was the defensive standout tonight, but some nights that's Finley. Some nights that's Lane Ratliff. This is a true team in every sense of the word, and they're going to be a tough out for anybody in this region.
Yeah, they are. And I mean, when you look at it holistically, the offensive play calling is just off the charts with how they can get their skilled players involved. We've seen Kellogg out of the backfield. We've seen so many different players touch the ball. And, you know, there's just so much going on with this team that, you know, that can really prove vital down the stretch.
Yeah, when you're looking at this team on film, preparing to play the New Lexington Panthers, you know, how do you go about defending them? You know, that's the question. Logan Elm came in here tonight and tried to play a more conservative defense on the back end, tried to stop the over-the-top plays, and once New Lex identified that, Carson Kellogg started running right up the middle. Then they had to respect the run. Then we saw Stevens hitting them over the top. It's just what they do. They're very comfortable in what they do offensively.
And looking ahead to next week, does the slow start to this game kind of linger on and affect going into next week, or is that something you clean up?
I don't think so. I think they'll just have another great week of practice. I think this team's just excited to have another week together, and we'll see how it comes out a week from now. We don't know their opponent. We expect it'll be Indian Valley, and if that's the case, with the exception of the Tri-Valley Scotties, that'll be the toughest team they've played to date.
Well, whoever it will be, we will have it right here on South 60 Films. It'll be a neutral site game for Week 13. The Panthers moving on to that week after a 52-14 win over the Logan Elm Braves. But that'll do it from here from Jim Rockwell Stadium. The Panthers 52-14 final. They move on to Week 13. You've been